The WWE Draft Night 2, has it happened or was it just a dream? What the hell was this Kenny Bomb? What are your initial thoughts on this night of the draft?
Bro, this was a disaster. It was a disaster. I remember back in the day being excited for these drafts, man. And now they come out, like you pointed out, same legends came from Friday. Nobody new exciting. And really, nobody moved. We got to get into it, kid. I mean, it was a disaster.
I know, right? Yeah, no point wasting time because WWE did enough of that. Not just today, but in the last episode as well. So we would hope they would be cooking with this one. But man, like, we try to keep it entertaining, talk to each other to not sleep in this episode. Like, we were about to both get knocked out. It was literally nothing happening. It's tough. This is round number 1. We had the Imperium stay at Raw. We had Jade Cargill stay at SmackDown. Finally, we had someone move over, and it was Damage Control. Definitely needed in a 3-hour show, as many people as you can get. So they got 4 people at once. We got Kevin Owens staying at SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken. I think, yeah, he is staying there. Yep. I wish they would tell us that, but obviously they're not going to say like staying, moving, because that would just expose them for the fraud, goddammit. Anyways, yeah, what's your thoughts on round 1?
I mean, these picks went exactly as expected. Besides Damage Control, I mean, they're tag team champions, so they could go either way anyway. But Jade Cargill, I knew she wasn't leaving SmackDown because she's teaming up with Bianca Belair right now. Of course, those two are most likely going to be getting the tag team championships. Imperium, good spot for him because I can see Gunther being the world champion. I don't see him getting that SmackDown championship as of right now, so I think this is a good spot for him. Kevin Owens, put him wherever you want. Doesn't matter at this point. They bury him anyway. So round 1, really no surprises. Damage Control, cool, but again, they were going back and forth anyway as the champions.
Yeah, it's interesting that Imperium is now just 2 of them, Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther. I mean, based on what happened like last week, I get it. Yeah. But will they continue as to what will happen to Giovanni Vinci? We're guessing with Kenny that he's out of here for sure. And, other than that, I feel like maybe we'll see a crazy, turn of events where Chad Gable will join Imperium as a 3rd member. Or there's another potential. We'll talk about it when we look at the next round. Boom. So this is round 2, starting off with CM Punk staying at Raw. This is what we predicted in the last video anyways. And we said that, hey, if anything happens and he's needed on SmackDown, they'll find a BS reason to move him there. And I still hold the same belief. We had the Pride, the 4 people. Lashley is awesome. These 3, well, good luck to these 3. They're staying at SmackDown, I think. And then Braun Strowman returned after not being active after his neck fusion surgery. Ever since 2023, we haven't seen this man wrestle. He's back. Not only is he back, drafted to Raw, he actually appeared in a segment as well. And then we had Tiffany Stratton, I think, stay at SmackDown as well. So that was round 2 right there, Kenny.
Yeah, so we thought Tiffany Stratton moved to Raw because she was sitting in the crowd, but I guess she was just making her Raw debut. Staying on SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton. I think she probably could have used the move to Raw. Can I see her beating Bayley? No, but I think her beating Becky would probably be a bit better for her. So I don't know. SmackDown, of course, right now they're still positioning it as their A show. This has to shake back up before they move to Netflix because there's no way if this is on demand where I can just watch it and skip through it, that I'm going to sit through it with this type of roster. This is going to save me a lot of time. So round 2, hey, it was round 2. I think Tiffany Stratton moving to Raw would have been the biggest surprise to me, but otherwise, all of these things are really just expected. But good to see Braun back. I think he had like a neck fusion surgery, so good to see him make his comeback. Hopefully he can help Raw kind of get off the bricks.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Tiffany was actually drafted to SmackDown because what the hell is she doing on Raw? Right. I don't know if she's going to beat Bayley. I mean, I can see her do that, but it doesn't make sense right now because they're both heels. And number 2, she randomly lost to Becky Lynch back in the day. And this would have been a perfect way to go ahead and get her comeuppance, take that revenge on Becky Lynch and take the title as well. That would have been cool, but That's why I was thinking she was at Raw, but I misremembered. And yeah, she is indeed at the end of round 2 was picked to be on SmackDown. Next up, we have round number 3. We're halfway there, obviously, 3 hours, so more rounds. Number 2, we had LWO, a whole lot of people alongside Carlito, even though he's on shaky grounds, going to Raw. Again, more the merrier. Legado del Fantasma stays, so the rivalry between these two, I guess, Hispanic groups right now is over. Drew McIntyre finally gets picked at round 3 at the second night of the draft, which is kind of crazy. And then we had Shinsuke Nakamura, which is, he's, I guess, moving to SmackDown. All I can say to that is, okay. I mean, what difference does it make when we look at what Shinsuke's been doing? But that's my opinion, Kenny.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Shinsuke, of course, we always talk about it. He came in hot and they cooled him down tremendously. He is cooked. So, maybe he can find his footing back on SmackDown. But Drew McIntyre, why would you wait this late to draft Drew McIntyre? I understand you're telling the story that he got drafted under CM Punk and you're going to try to have him have this grudge, but you kind of devalued him. Made it look like, nobody wants him. You have him. You know what? If we lose, you're going to draft, shout out to LWO, but you're going to draft the LWO over Drew McIntyre. It's just insane.
I know. And then next up, we have round number 4. Again, a whole bunch of picks that I don't know if we care about. Well, we do care about one, I'm pretty sure. But we had the Judgment Day stay, so no difference there. No Rhea Ripley in the picture. That's the most important thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, Damian is a champion. He's protected, so whatever. But yeah, Rhea Ripley, we'll talk about her a little bit more. Naomi stays at SmackDown, I think. I don't know. Again, they're not telling us. If you didn't watch the episode or if you didn't take notes, you're just gonna have to guess who's staying and who's not. Ilya Dragunov, though, definitely not staying where he was. Coming to the Raw brand with Gunther being there. See, this was the other option for Imperium I was talking about. Maybe besides Chad Gable, either Dragunov could join, and maybe one day he will turn babyface and beat Gunther again. I don't know. With the way Sami Zayn beat Gunther, kind of devaluated that whole loss, but that's just me again. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. At least the cool thing here is that they switched brands, and I'm expecting some decent things from Chelsea Green in the future. Maybe even a championship run, although it might be a little brief, but I am expecting big things. Kenny, what's your take on round 4?
Yeah, round 4, Judgment Day. I'm surprised they didn't put Rhea Ripley in there. I don't know if that's just because they don't know where they want her to go or because they wanted to keep her off of this because she's injured right now. Naomi, she just got back on SmackDown. She's over there with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. So we'll see if she gets tied back in with them, because we just know that she had her title match on the last SmackDown, I believe, and didn't win. So we'll see where they go with her. Ilja Dragunov, I don't know how to say his name. I'm not an NXT guy, but like you said, I think Imperium would be a good fit for him. They just scrapped the other guy who didn't get drafted, so hopefully he finds his footing and he doesn't end up on the back burner, but we'll see. Chelsea Green, I found it interesting that Adam Pearce, he said, thank you for drafting Chelsea Green. She's all yours. She's in your hair now. So I like the gimmick they're giving her. Yeah. And we'll see if she's a Karen on SmackDown. So this one, again, not any big surprises. No big surprises. It is as it is.
Let's move on quickly to round 5. I mean, right off the bat, this looks like to be the most underwhelming round, maybe. We have the New Day, which is not new anymore, man. It's been 10 years, please. They're staying at Raw. Pretty deadly. They tried with them so many times on NXT UK, NXT itself. On main roster, it's just, I don't know if they're ever going to work out. Lyra Valkyria is interesting because she's the one that actually beat Becky Lynch, unlike the Tiffy time. And then we had Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell actually moved to SmackDown, so that kind of makes me feel like they have some sort of a plan for these two, at least for Candice. And I don't hate this new type of, heel turn gimmick, their new attitude. Yeah, that's cool. You're in a professional wrestling show, no mercy. Go for the win, go for the throat. I like that. But yeah, what do you think about round number 5?
Round number 5, they should have split up the New Day. I thought they were going to do something when Kofi was supposed to throw in the towel on Raw. But you're right, the gimmick is stale. Unfortunately, Big E is out, and he said he's not too confident. of the future, but he's happy. So I guess that's all that matters. But New Day needs to do something different because they've been doing this for too long. So that's what I don't care about. Pretty Deadly. I thought they had a great package before the tag team match on SmackDown. I see potential at WrestleMania. I see potential in them. And I think it would have saved them if they did bring them to Raw, because right now they need something, and SmackDown just is not working for them. As far as Lyra Valkyrie, again, not an NXT guy, never seen her work, but I see a lot of people talking about her. So hopefully she comes up to the main roster and she's impressive. And Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
Speaking of impressive, you don't care about it. I mean, yeah, I can't fault you too much.
Shout out well though, but sorry,
not working. All right, now for the main event of the evening. You would imagine they would pick like great picks. Oh, our final pick ever is Brock Lesnar to SmackDown. Instead, none of that happened. We got a whole bunch of people on Raw again. See that trend right there, Kenny? Like 10 people again. Yeah, we need all the fresh blood we need. It looks like regardless if it's going to Netflix or not, they're just going to keep on this trend of 3 hours draw and nothing interesting happening most of the year. Which is kind of tough, man. You're being paid billions. I'm sure you can come up with something interesting, but what do we know, I guess, or what do I know? We had DIY move over to SmackDown, actually, because they did just lose like last week to R-Truth and The Miz, and they're pretty much at a dead end when it comes to the tag team championships at Raw. So this is understandable. Raw still gets to keep Big Bronson Reed. Big deal. I mean, what can I say? He just doesn't seem to have the it factor, even though he's pretty solid in the ring. I'll give him that. Blair Davenport, I predicted her as kind of a meme, but then she ended up being the final pick. And you know what? I like Blair Davenport. I think she's pretty good. She does have a bit of a character, but I'd say her character, again, would be, even though she has a bit of it, is kind of her weakest part, because in the ring, she's phenomenal, I think, especially considering the women's roster. She'll definitely be in there or on the upper echelon. But yeah, this is not what you want to see for the final freaking round. At least, like, no disrespect to Blair Davenport, but this at least the final pick should have been a big name. But WWE just, to me, seems to have forgotten the last E in their name, which is entertainment. Entertainment.
Absolutely. I remember, man, when these draft shows were like the most exciting shows of the year behind the Raw, behind WrestleMania. But these days, man, I was actually excited for them this year too, but everybody just stayed on the same brand. So it just took so much excitement out of it. And I guess I lost some of that excitement because I don't really watch NXT anymore. So wasn't really excited about those stars coming up. But Blair Davenport, she's cool. She reminds me of, I know she was with Jamie Hayter and Will Ospreay working together for a long time. So interested to see how she works on the main roster, because if she's anything like Jamie Hayter, I think she will get over. Because Jamie Hayter naturally got over in AEW and ended up winning the championship. So we'll see if Blair Davenport can follow in her footsteps.